Porter's 5 Forces is a tool that helps managers understand how attractive an industry is and why firms earn the profits they do. Scope, it looks beyond a single company and studies the whole industry environment, covering any market where firms compete for the same customers. Core elements, the model has 5 forces. Threat of new entrants. Bargaining power of suppliers. Bargaining power of buyers. Threat of substitute products or services. Rivalry among existing competitors. Think of the forces as wind blowing against a ship, the firm. If the wind is strong from many directions, the ship must work harder, raise prices, cut costs to stay on course. Each force can be strong or weak, and the sum of all forces tells you whether the industry is a gold mine, high profit potential, or a hard rock mine, low profit potential. The model is static, it gives a snapshot, but it can be updated each year as conditions change. A quantitative scoring framework converts the qualitative judgment of each force into numbers so that students and analysts can compare industries side by side. The most common method is the weighted force score. The steps are: rate each force on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 equals very weak, 5 equals very strong. Assign a weight to each force that reflects its importance to the particular industry, weights sum to 1. Multiply the rating by its weight to get a weighted score. Add the 5 weighted scores to obtain the overall industry attractiveness index. Mathematically, I equals sigma rating sub I times weight sub I for I equals 1 to 5. Example, in the airline industry, suppose the ratings are new entrants equals 2 suppliers, equals 4 buyers equals 3, substitutes equals 2, rivalry equals 5. If the manager believes rivalry is the most important, weight 0.30, and buyers the next, weight 0.25, while the other 3 each get 0.15, the calculation is I equals 2 times 0.15 plus 4 times 0.15 plus 3 times 0.25 plus 2 times 0.15 plus 5 times 0.30 equals 0.30 plus 0.60 plus 0.75 plus 0.30 plus 1.50 equals 3.45. Higher I near 5 signals a less attractive industry, lower I near 1 signals a more attractive one. The framework also lets you run what-if scenarios by adjusting weights or ratings, which is useful for strategic planning and MBA case studies. The threat of new entrants looks at how easy it is for a competitor to walk into the market. 3 key concepts are barriers to entry, economies of scale, and strategic entry deterrence. Barriers include legal restrictions, capital requirements, access to distribution channels, and brand loyalty. Imagine a new coffee shop trying to compete with Starbucks. It must overcome the brand loyalty barrier. Economies of scale mean that existing firms can produce at lower average cost because they spread fixed costs over large volumes. A car manufacturer that builds 1 million cars a year can buy steel cheaper per ton than a startup that builds 10,000 cars. Strategic entry deterrents are actions incumbents take to make entry unattractive. Aggressive pricing, signing long-term exclusive contracts with suppliers, or filing patents. For instance, an established software firm may release a free basic version of its product, making it costly for a newcomer to attract users. When barriers are high, the new entrant force gets a low rating 1 to 2. When barriers are low, the rating climbs 4 to 5. MBA students often draw a barriers map, plotting capital intensity versus regulatory difficulty to visualize entry risk. The bargaining power of suppliers measures how much suppliers can influence price, quality, or delivery. 3 analytical lenses are useful. 1. Concentration ratio, CR, the percentage of market share held by the top K suppliers, usually CR4. If 4 firms supply 80% of the world's silicon wafers, they have high concentration and thus high power. 2. Switching costs, cost a firm incurs when changing suppliers, such as training, retooling, contractual penalties. High switching costs give suppliers leverage. A printer manufacturer that designs its machines around a specific ink cartridge faces high switching costs. 3. Forward integration risk, the chance a supplier might start selling directly to end customers, bypassing the firm. Example, a fabric manufacturer that opens its own clothing brand. A simple quantitative measure. Supplier power equals open parenthesis CRK plus open parenthesis switching cost index divided by 10 close parenthesis plus forward integration likelihood close parenthesis divided by 3, where each component is scored 1 to 5. If CR4 equals 4, switching cost index equals 3, forward integration likelihood equals 2, then supplier power equals open parenthesis 4 plus 3 plus 2 close parenthesis divided by 3 equals 3.0, moderate power. Students can plot a supplier power radar to visualize each component. When supplier power is high, firms may mitigate risk by vertical integration, multi-sourcing, or developing strategic alliances. The bargaining power of buyers looks at how much customers can press firms for lower prices or better terms. 3 key aspects are price sensitivity, volume consolidation, and backward integration threats. Price sensitivity is the degree to which a buyer's purchase volume changes with price. In commodity markets, for example steel, buyers are very price sensitive because substitutes are abundant. Volume consolidation occurs when a few large buyers purchase a large share of total sales, high buyer concentration. A supermarket chain that buys 70% of a snack producer's output wields strong power. Backward integration threat is the possibility that buyers might start producing the product themselves. For example, a large automobile manufacturer might build its own battery plant rather than buying from an external supplier. A numeric illustration. Suppose a firm surveys its top 3 buyers and gives scores 1 to 5 for price sensitivity 4, concentration 3, and backward integration risk 2. The buyer power index is the average. 4 plus 3 plus 2 divided by 3 equals 3.0, indicating moderate buyer power. Managers can respond by differentiating the product, locking in contracts, or adding unique services that reduce price sensitivity. Threat of substitutes captures the pressure from alternative products or services that fulfill the same need. 3 analytical tools are used. Cross-elasticity of demand, CED, measures how quantity demanded of a product changes when the price of a substitute changes. Formula: CED equals % delta QX divided by % delta PY. A high positive CED greater than 1 means strong substitution. For instance, when the price of gasoline rises, the demand for electric vehicles (EVs) may increase, indicating a high CED. Technological Substitution Index, TSI, a composite score from 1 to 5, evaluates how quickly technology makes an existing product obsolete. A TSI of 5 for DVD rentals reflects the rapid shift to streaming services. Relative Price Performance, RPP, compares the price-to-performance ratio of the product versus its substitute. RPP equals price X divided by performance X, divided by price Y divided by performance Y. An RPP greater than 1 means the substitute offers better value. Example, in the office communication market, a traditional landline phone X costs $30 per month and offers 1 line, performance equals 1. A VoIP service Y costs $20 per month and offers 5 lines, performance equals 5. RPP equals 30 divided by 1 divided by 20 divided by 5 equals 30 divided by 4 equals 7.5, indicating the VoIP is far superior, so the threat of substitution is high. When substitutes are easy, cheap, and perform better, the force receives a rating of 4 to 5, pressuring incumbent firms to innovate, lower prices, or improve service. Rivalry among existing competitors is the engine that drives industry profitability. 3 quantitative lenses help to gauge its intensity. Number 1, market share dynamics dash the rate at which firms gain or lose share. Rapid, frequent shifts, high churn signal fierce rivalry. One can compute the Herfindahl-Hirschman index, HHI, equals the sum of SI squared, where SI is each firm's market share in percent. An HHI below 1500 indicates a fragmented market with strong rivalry. Above 2500 signals concentration and possibly less rivalry. Number 2, capacity utilization dash the proportion of total industry capacity that is actually used. When utilization falls below a critical level, for example 70%, firms cut prices to fill idle capacity, intensifying rivalry. Airlines often face this when off-peak flights have low loads. Number 3, game theoretic payoff matrices dash modeling competitive interaction as a strategic game. For example, Prisoner's Dilemma. A simple two-player price competition matrix. If both choose low price, each gets -5. If I choose low and competitor high, I get 10 and competitor -10. If I choose high and competitor low, I get -10 and competitor 10. If both choose high, both get 0. Negative numbers represent profit-loss. Positive numbers represent profit. The Nash equilibrium often ends up at both choosing low price, illustrating why price wars arise. Together, these tools let MBA students quantify rivalry, predict outcomes, and suggest strategic moves such as differentiation, capacity reduction, or strategic alliances. Porter's 5 forces does not exist in a vacuum. It meshes tightly with value chain analysis and competitive positioning cost leadership differentiation focus. The logic is: identify which forces are strongest, for example, powerful suppliers. Then look at the firm's value chain to see where it can reduce dependence, perhaps by backward integrating the supplier activity, for example, a coffee chain roasting its own beans. If rivalry is intense, a firm can seek cost leadership by streamlining primary activities, inbound logistics operations to achieve lower unit cost, thereby surviving price wars. When the threat of substitutes is high, firms can invest in product development and marketing activities, support activities to enhance differentiation. Think of Apple adding ecosystem services to make switching costly. A strategic group map, plotting firms on dimensions such as price versus breadth of product line, visualizes how forces affect different groups, guiding positioning decisions. Thus, 5 forces tells you where the pressure comes from, value chain tells you how you can respond, positioning tells you what overall strategic posture to adopt. A practical exercise. Take a case, for example, fast food industry, list the 5 forces, map each to a value chain activity, for example, supplier power to inbound logistics, and decide whether to pursue cost leadership, streamlined kitchens, or differentiation, unique menu items. Explanation: typical MBA exam questions require students to apply the concepts, often with numeric data. Below are sample prompts and step-by-step calculations. Question 1: a textbook publishing industry has the following ratings 1 to 5. New entrants equals 2, suppliers equals 3, buyers equals 4, substitutes equals 5, rivalry equals 3. The professor asks you to compute the weighted force score using weights. New entrants 0.10, suppliers 0.20, buyers 0.30, substitutes 0.25, rivalry 0.15. Solution: WFS equals open parenthesis 2 times 0.10 close parenthesis, plus open parenthesis 3 times 0.20 close parenthesis, plus open parenthesis 4 times 0.30 close parenthesis, plus open parenthesis 5 times 0.25 close parenthesis, plus open parenthesis 3 times 0.15 close parenthesis equals 0.2 plus 0.6 plus 1.2 plus 1.25 plus 0.45 equals 3.6. A score of 3.7 out of 5 indicates a moderately unattractive industry. Question 2: in the smartphone market, the top 4 suppliers of display panels have market shares of 40%, 30%, 20%, and 5%. Compute the concentration ratio CR4 and the Herfindahl-Hirschman index. Solution: C, R4 equals 40 plus 30 plus 20 plus 5 equals 95%, very high concentration. HHI equals 40 squared plus 30 squared plus 20 squared plus 5 squared equals 1,600 plus 900 plus 400 plus 25 equals 2,925. An HHI greater than 2,500 signals a highly concentrated market, giving suppliers strong bargaining power. Question 3: Scenario: a beverage company faces high buyer power rating equals 4. Propose 2 strategic moves and explain how each reduces buyer power referencing the value chain. Answer 1: product differentiation – invest in research and development support activity to create a unique flavor line, making price less sensitive. Answer 2: long-term contracts – strengthen inbound logistics by locking in key retailers with volume discount agreements, reducing buyers' ability to switch. These example formats help students practice scoring, interpreting indices, and linking analysis to strategic choices.